All right, now we have to deal with the cable. This is the part I hate the most. Probably most of you do too. So I've gone ahead and put in a few extras on the power supply in case, you know, I need to throw in a second video card, which I have, but I don't know if I'm going to put it in this system just yet. So right now I'm just pulling everything out just so that everything lines up and just goes in a lot nicer. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're gonna go, let's go ahead and install the 8-pin CPU. All right, so it'll be the one that says P8. Just gonna go ahead and slide it in under all the rest. And you don't have to build it like I do, and you don't have to cable it like I do. I'm just giving you some advice. Okay, and now we're gonna pop it in right up here. Okay, and let's go see where everything is real quick before we keep sliding things through. Okay, so the P8 CPU power is going to be right up here. Let me move that out of your way. It's gonna be right up here. See that better right here. Then we're gonna have the ATX 24 pin right here. See that right here. And then we're gonna have USB 3.0 coming in down here under the grommet closest to the front of the case. Then we're gonna have the front panel audio and USB 2.0 headers. We can fit them right over here. See my finger come in right over here. Okay, and then we're gonna have to take this out so that we can actually connect the cables behind it, but that's okay. And then one thing we have to remember is the SATA cables are going to be right over here. So it's gonna be a bit awkward. They're not at 90 degrees, but some people don't like it, some people do like it. You're never gonna please everybody. So, okay. So now we're gonna come in based on everything I just said, and let's hope my memory works out well. So we're gonna put in the ATX 24 pin cable right along here. Okay, then we're gonna put in the front panel USB 3.0 header. Right along down here through that front grommet. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and feed along through the USB 2.0. Actually, we'll do it along the bottom. Feed along through the USB 2.0 and front panel header. HD audio right over here. And the USB 2 seems a bit short. If anything, what we'll have to end up doing, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll worry about it a little tiny bit later. Yeah, actually, we can fit it through the front as well. Okay, then we're also going to put the front panel connections for the I/O, for the reset button, the start, the power button, the LED lights. We're just going to slide it through here, and then we're just going to leave the rest of these out for right now. We'll get to these in 1 second. So now let me go ahead and lower the camera. Okay, so just going to move all the stuff around so that it looks a little bit cared for. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, since it is kind of in the way, is plug in the front panel USB 3.0 header. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in right over here. It's hard to get the lighting in the perfect place for this. Okay, so there we go. That's plugged in right here. And now I slid through the USB header right over here. So we're going to connect it right over here. Okay, and I'll correct everything as I'm going through. And then the HD audio right back here. All right, so that looks good. So now I'm just going to go ahead and slide everything through just to make it look better. Okay, so that looks a little bit better down here. Let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so you can see the USB 3.0 right over here, USB 2.0 right over here, and the front panel audio right back here, where you can see my tip of my finger sticking through right here. Okay, now we have one more USB 2.0 header right here, and then one more USB 3.0 header here, and then right up here, or should I say right up here, is where we're going to plug in the power and reset and all the other buttons there. So let me just go ahead and feed everything through. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and connect it right up here. So for that part, we are going to need the instruction manual, and I'll go ahead and put in a guide, a legend, so you can see how to plug them in. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and connect the reset. Okay, right down there. Zoom in a little bit for you. This is going to be a tricky one to get you to see as I'm doing it, so I'm going to have to show you guys after I'm done plugging one by one in. Okay, so HD LED goes right next to the reset, right there. You can see I'm connecting them right here. The next connection in the manual is for the speaker, which usually comes on the motherboard, and some cases bring a little external speaker. I have one somewhere around here. I don't remember where I put it, for a post speaker power on self-test, so that if the computer isn't beeping, those codes tell you what's going on. This particular motherboard, not all of them have it, and this motherboard doesn't have it either, but a lot of motherboards have the speaker built into the motherboard. So we're going to go ahead and skip that piece for right now. Now we're going to plug in the power LED. Actually, we're going to plug in first the power switch. Okay, right there. And now we're going to plug in the power LED. Alright, there we go. So now, to make it look nicer, we just slide everything through, and then there you can clearly see all of that right there. And let me go up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so that right there, that's reset, power, HDD, LED, and reset. Okay, and again, if I had an external speaker to plug into for power on self-test, I'd plug it into the bottom pins. But the legend, as I have on the screen, shows you that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plug in some hard drives. Okay, and now for the Ion Key SSD. All right, so this data cable is actually too short, so we are actually gonna have to put it along the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that now. So now with that out of the way, with the Ion Key in its new location, we're gonna go ahead and just plug in the SATA data cable and the SATA power cable. They're gonna be right down here so that we can see where they both are. We'll just slide this out. Okay, and then we'll just grab this cable. Right over here. And then right over there as well. And then let's just go ahead and grab the SATA data cables. Plug that in right there. Now we'll just put it in place. And then plug in the other one as well. Okay, now we're just going to feed them along the back of all these cables so that it's a little bit easier to actually plug into the board, and then we'll slide it under all of these cables. And feed it up through here. And let's just see where that cable ends up. Okay, so it's going to end up right over here, and it looks like we have plenty of room to plug in to any one of these 6 SATA connections. I'm just following that same path with the other SATA cable. Actually, this one's going to have to go over since it is slightly further away. Okay, but we'll clean that all up in a minute. Let me bring in the ATX 24 pin right up here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and first off raise the camera for you guys. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and connect the ATX 24 pin. Now the clamp's on the outside, so just make sure when you clamp it in, clamps in over here, not towards the inside of the board. All right, and let's go ahead and plug in all the SSDs real quick. And of course, we're just going to make them look nice towards the end, of course. Okay, so that looks pretty good right now. Now we're going to go ahead and connect the 8-pin CPU power right up here. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and feed the PCIe cables for the video card. Now you could feed it under or over the card, however you prefer. I prefer mine under the card Okay, since mostly your eyes are going to be up here, they're not going to be under. Okay, and then we'll just clean that up a little bit later on. And now let's go ahead and take care of the cluster of cables up here that are kind of giving me a heart attack. Alright, so first off, this cable right here is going to be, okay, the PWM cable. We're going to connect that into a PWM header. And this one right over here, let's see which one that is. Let's just move that out of the way for right now. That's going to be additional power, so we don't need that one up there. Okay, so now since there is a CPU 1 that we're going to be using for the CPU, we're going to be utilizing the CPU 2 header on the board. Okay, so we'll just plug it in right here and just pull that cable through. Okay, and then this guy right over here, the rear fan, we're just going to feed through the back of the case. We'll go ahead and plug that into the fan controller that the case provides. Okay, so we'll go ahead and plug it in right over here, since these side are PWM controlled. Okay, and then to power all of this, we're going to be utilizing the SATA power cable. And let me make sure the front fan is right now connected to, yeah, okay. It's right now connected to this side, which is not PWM controlled. And then we can go ahead, we'll go ahead just to keep it consistent, plug the other front fan header to the other one that's not PWM controlled, so these will be at full power all the time. Okay, and then to keep the use of the SATA power low, we'll go ahead and utilize, so we don't have to use as many cables, we'll go ahead and utilize this very last one off of the strand that's connected to the power supplies, or I'm sorry, to the SSDs. Power supply on the brain right now. Alright, so, and I will come back to this. Right now I'm just connecting it to show you guys how to connect everything. I'm going to go back and make everything pretty. I'll do that off camera since it's going to take me a lot longer. Okay, so now we have a fully working PC. I'm going to go ahead and add that secondary USB 3.0 header right back here. That's going to connect right up here. Then I'm also going to attach 2 more SSDs. Now since we don't have spots for them, since the rear 2 SSD slots are taken, I'm just going to actually hide them right in this little hole here. Just right in here, out of sight, out of mind. They're still going to work. They don't have moving platters or anything, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But as of right now, we have a fully connected and fully working PC. As soon as I make it pretty, I'm going to come back on camera and show you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and start installing the operating system. Alright guys, so here she is, the final build utilizing the BIOSTAR Racing Z370 GT6 motherboard. Okay, we can see there the heatsink for the M.2 PCIe SSD. Very slick looking. Comes with the board. Alright, so next up is going to be a video showing you guys how to install Windows 10 utilizing this motherboard. And then also in that video I am going to be flashing the BIOS just to show you guys how to do that. All right, and so this USB bracket right here, that doesn't come with the board. I did include it. All right, and again, the full spec list for this system will be in the description below, and then also in the pinned comment below. As always, please do click like and subscribe. It helps us out tons so that we can get more stuff like this, and then eventually also do giveaways, and then show you guys bigger, better, and more. Alright guys, Iggy out. See ya.